Dear children, welcome to the second session of functions in Python. By watching session 1, you will be able to answer the questions, what are functions and its advantages, and also the types of functions in Python. In session 1, I have discussed user-defined functions in detail. Now, in this session 2, I will talk about built-in functions. You are already familiar with few built-in functions because I have used them often in my examples like input, print, type, CHR. Now I will jump right into the Python IDLE and show you more examples. Now I will show you the built-in functions which are given in your textbook. The first one is the ABS function. Let x is equal to a negative number minus 23.5. Print x. Next, I will use the ABS function. Print ABS of x. So look at the output. First, the value of x is printed minus 23.5. Next, you can see the ABS of x. That is absolute value of x is printed as 23.5. So what do you observe? The ABS function returns the positive value or absolute value of the given number. So ABS function returns the absolute value of a number. Absolute value means positive value of a number. Suppose the given number is already positive. Suppose x is equal to, instead of minus 23.5, it is already positive 23.5. Then also the ABS function is going to give the positive value. That is, it will give the same answer, same value. Okay, next, the OR function. What does the OR function do? It takes a character, suppose uppercase A, x is equal to uppercase A. This OR function takes this character and converts it into its ASCII value. So let us check it out. So the ASCII value of A is 65 of uppercase A. So you want to know the ASCII value of lowercase a? Just use the OR function. It is 97. Okay. So this OR function returns the ASCII value of the given character. Next is the CHR function. CHR function is the opposite of OR function. So here, if the value of x is already an ASCII value, say 67, and I want the character CHR of this value x, which is 67. So see the output. It is the uppercase C, because uppercase A is 65. So C will be 67. So this function CHR converts ASCII value to character. I will store a binary number in X. Binary number is prefixed with 0B. 1111. Okay, if I print X, what do you expect the output to be? I have already discussed this in chapter 5. So when I print x, it gives 15. What is 15? It is the decimal equivalent of the binary number 1111. So when you say print x, Python is not printing the binary number itself. It is automatically converting it into a decimal number and giving the decimal value of this binary number. Okay. Now, suppose you want to convert a decimal number to binary. So x is having a decimal number 15. If you want to convert it to binary, you can use the bin function. Bin of x. Okay, now the value of x is 15. What will be bin of x? It is the equivalent, binary equivalent of 15, which is 0b1111. So using bin function, you can convert a decimal number into binary. So bin function returns a binary number. Okay. Next we will see the type function. But you are very familiar with type function. So here instead of bin, let me give type. So value of x is 15. What will be the type of x? It should be class int. It is the data type of x is class int because 15 is an integer. Okay, if I store in x a float number 15.3, now the type of x will be class float. If I store a string in x, now the type of x will be class string, class str. Okay, let me now give the value of x as a Boolean value, true. There are only two Boolean values, true and false. So what will be the type of x? It will be class bool. So you are familiar with all these data types. But there are some more data types which you will be learning in future chapters. For example, I can write a list of numbers within square brackets. 3, 8, 5. Within square brackets. What will be the type of x now? I have stored in x some elements within square brackets. So the type of x will be class list. So remember, a group of elements within square bracket has the data type list. If I change these square brackets into parentheses, now the type of x will be tuple, class tuple. Okay. If I change the parentheses to set brackets, the type of x will be now class set. So the type function helps you to find out the data type of that variable or constant. Next is the ID function, ID. So suppose I store in x the value 10 and in y I will store 20. So print x comma y. I will print 10 and it will print 10 and 20. And also I will print the ID of x. ID of x. And also the ID of y. So what does this ID function do? It gives the address of that particular variable in memory. Okay, so address of x is the first number and the address of y is the second very long number. Address of the variable in memory. That is what the id function returns. Okay, next, so these values will vary time to time from system to system. Next function is the min function. Okay, min function. So for that, let me take a collection type in X, collection data type. That is a list. A list is a collection data type. So X is equal to, within square brackets, let me take some numbers, 23, 50, 78, 12. Okay. Now I will print X and also print the min of X, minimum value of X, minimum value of that list. Okay. Now you can see minimum value is 12 of this list. So X contains this list of numbers 23, 50, 78 and 12. So you see X, when you print X, along with the square bracket, comma, everything is printed. And the min of X gives the value 12. Okay, what is the next function? It is max. So let me change this min to max. So as the name says, this function will give the maximum value of that list. So here 78 is the maximum value. And also I can use the sum function, SUM, sum of X. So with this function you can find the sum of all the elements in the list. 163. This is the sum of all the 4 elements. So these 3 functions are in your textbook, min, max and sum. Next is the format function. So if you have some variables like the X is equal to 15, okay, and Y is equal to 25. Okay, first I will print X, the value of X, but I want to format it. So I say X is equal to, and comma, X is equal to the string, comma, format. I'm using the format function, X. I want to format X. But here I give, next to the comma, I give the letter B. X comma B. Like this. And then Y, for Y, to print Y, I give print Y is equal to, okay, comma, and once again I use the format function, format Y comma, I give F. So what is the meaning of this? Let us see the output. So you can see X is, the first print statement prints 1111 and the second print statement prints 25 with 6 zeros, with 6 decimal places. Okay, so here what is happening? The format function is converting the value of X, which is 15, into binary. So X comma B. When you give the formatting character B, it is converting into binary, and here the second print statement, in that the format function y comma f, it is converting the value of y to float. Y is 25, but it is converting to float with 6 decimal places, 25.000, that one. And the print statement is printing. Once again, take a look at the output. So x is displayed in the form of a binary number and y is displayed in the form of a float number. And then another thing you have to note here is this format function is not putting the prefix 0b for the binary number as we saw in the bin function. So in bin function, we got the binary value along with the prefix 0b. But format function is directly printing the binary number without the prefix 0b. Okay, so this difference you should note. Next is the round function. Okay, round. So when can I use round? If I have decimal places, I may want to round the number. Okay, let x is equal to 15.236. Okay, 236. Okay, I want to round. So first I will print x and then I will print round of x. Round of x, comma, to how many places I want to, decimal places I want to round. Suppose I want to round off to 2 decimal places. So x has 3 decimal places, but now I want the round function to round the number to 2 decimal places. So what will be the output? 15.236, that is the original value of x. Now the round function is giving 15.24. Okay, so this is how we round numbers in mathematics. The same technique Python is following in the round function also. Okay, suppose you have 15.2 as the number of as the value of x. Now if I give only round of x without the number of decimal places to be rounded, so round of x. So the number of decimal places what you are mentioning as a second parameter, it is optional. It's sorry, second argument, that is optional. So just I give round of x. Okay, let us see what happens. So 15.2 is the value of x, round of x gives 15. So if it is 15.5 and I say round of x, you should get 16, I think. Yes, 16. So this is how we round in mathematics also. So same happens. So suppose the number is negative, x is negative. So what will be the answer? Minus 15.5 rounded to minus 16. Okay, if you have 15 minus 15.3. So this will be rounded off to minus 15. So this is how the round function works. Okay. Next is the pow function. Pow means to the power of. So actually you can use the exponent operator, double star, is it not, to calculate power. But another function is available. So suppose you want to do 3 to the power of 4. So I can directly give, I don't want this, all this. X is equal to y is equal to. Okay, let me print pow. Print pow. So pow 3, 4, which means 3 to the power of 4. Print 3 to the power of 4. What is the answer? 81. 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. Okay. Pow of 3, 4. The built-in functions which I discussed so far can be used directly in any Python program. But there are some functions which are defined under certain modules of Python. Now we are going to discuss the math module. This math module contains mathematical built-in functions of Python. To use this math module, first you should write import math. You have to write the import statement, import math. So we will see the floor function first. So let me take x is equal to 26.7, print x, and then print. So I want to find the floor value of x. You cannot directly use the floor function. You should say math.floor of x. So to use the floor function which is under math module, you should use a syntax math.floor, that is module.function. So what does the floor function return? It gives the largest integer less than or equal to x. So 26.7 is the value of x. What is the integer which is less than or equal to x? It is 26. If x happens to be negative, x is equal to minus 26.7, then what does the floor function return? Minus 27. Because minus 27 is the largest integer which is less than or equal to x on the negative side. If the value of x is minus 26.2, what does math.floor return? It gives minus 27. Okay, next function is the ceil function. So let me take same value for x. X is equal to 26.7. Math.ceil of x. C-E-I-L. Ceil means ceiling. So you can guess what the answer will be. It will be the smallest integer which is greater than or equal to x. Smallest integer which is greater than or equal to x. Value which is greater than x. So 26.7, what is the integer which is greater than 26.7? It is 27. Okay, what will happen if x value is negative? Minus 26.7. So what will be math.ceil? Minus 26. Okay, so this is the number which is greater than x in the negative side. And if x is minus 26.2, what will be math.ceil? Then also minus 26. The last function which we are going to see is the square root function, SQRT. Suppose you want to find the square root of 64. So write math.sqrt of x. So you know the square root of 64 is 8. So if you want to find the square root of some other number, suppose 78. So what will be square root of 78? 8.8317 something. So many decimal places. So you can control the decimal places by using the round function, which we have already discussed. Round off. Okay. Comma. Round off this value, math.square root of x, that value, comma, 2. To round up to 2 decimal places. Okay. So let us see the output. You can see the output is rounded to 2 decimal places. So you can use one function within another function. So I have used here SQRT function within the round function. This is called nesting of functions. So that's all about built-in functions in your syllabus in this chapter of functions in Python.